Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, and every day he seems more and more like this guy from the Lorax. The guy so money hungry, he was trying to sell air, literally air, oxygen. That's what he wanted to sell in order to make more and more and more money. I am genuinely convinced that Donald Trump is becoming this person. The only difference is Dr. Seuss always has a happy ending, and I don't know if Trump's presidency will. So to add insult to injury, in Trump's weird and delusional quest for what seems like unlimited profit opportunity, he's now offering what's called a gold card for people to get citizenship. Now, I think we've all learned our lesson from watching The Office over and over and over again. Golden ticket ideas always backfire. They're never a smart idea. You're not Willy Wonka. Don't try to be. We all understand this. Trump clearly hasn't. Maybe he's too much of a boomer. Maybe he's never seen The Office. Maybe he's never even seen Willy Wonka. But either way, we're going to go ahead and check out what Trump had to say about this.
We're going to be doing something else that's going to be very, very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy.
As soon as I heard this, my immediate first thought was $5 million to become a U.S. citizen. Who internationally has $5 million just lying around? No problem. Isn't that literally going to be members of the, oh, I don't know, cartel? Russian oligarchs? Terrorist organizations? Hamas, I know, made millions of dollars. So what, like, you're literally telling people that they can pay to become citizens, but the only people that are going to have that kind of disposable income, I'd be willing to bet, are going to be bad people. People that we wouldn't want in this country. Okay, Trump. I'm sorry. Okay, Willy Wonka.
And they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful.
They're not going to be employing a bunch of people, by the way, if they have an international business that's making a fuck ton of money so that they're easily able to pay for U.S. citizenship. Who's to say that if somebody has U.S. citizenship here, they're going to actually move their entire business over here? Honestly, don't even ask Trump who's going to help move the business over here to America, because at this point, I'm convinced he would tell you the Oompa Loompas, they'll help.
Done before or anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks out? Do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Sure.
Mr. President, are there any requirements for that gold card? Do you have to invest a certain amount of money in this country in order to qualify for that gold card?
Yeah, exactly.
So the EB-5 program was really, you lend some money, but it was full of nonsense, make-believe, and fraud, and it was a way to get a green card that was low priced. So the president said, rather than having this sort of ridiculous EB-5 program, we're going to end the EB-5 program.
I like how for them, they're like, the worst part about this was that it was affordable. The worst thing about this entire process is that people could actually afford to go through this process. My dude, $5 million, a gold card, Willy Wonka's magic. Nothing could save your receding hairline.
We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card, which is really a green card gold. So they'll be able to pay $5 million to the U.S. government. They'll have to go through vetting, of course. We're going to make sure they're wonderful, world-class global citizens. They can come to
Okay, so they'll have to go through vetting. So I guess that does cancel out what I said earlier about the cartel or whatever, which is fine. I knew they were going to have to, they would have to put some kind of stipulations on this. However, again, this is arguably classist at like the highest degree. This is literally all based on the assumption that rich people are good people and that poor people or people that are middle class or people that just don't make that much money, they are bad people. It's the most delusional thing that most anybody that's gone through kindergarten understands is delusional. But yet, for some f***ing reason, Trump and his administration think that this is a brilliant idea.
America, the president can give them a green card, and they can invest in America, and we can use that money to reduce our deficit. Why do we give out lotteries of green cards? Why do we give out EB-5 for green cards? The President of the United States understands that the right answer is, why don't we eliminate the deficit of the United States of America?
That's another good point, too. How hard would the administration really vet somebody if they already paid the $5 million? Or if they were going to pay the $5 million, or they had proof that they had the $5 million? How hard is the U.S. government really going to vet that person? They might just be seeing money signs, you know, like the old cartoons, like cha-ching!
The gold card, well, millions, but the gold card will bring in with it people that create jobs, very high-level people. I think companies will pay to get people in. For instance, you today graduate from the Wharton School of Finance or Harvard or Stanford or any college, and nobody knows if you can even go to work for a company.
Immigrants are more likely to start businesses in the United States than native-born Americans. Immigrant-owned businesses are found in all sectors of the economy. In 2023, immigrants founded 19% of new businesses, though they make up only 14% of the population. This notion that you need to bring rich people in to provide jobs is a load of fucking horseshit. What's actually going to happen is you're going to bring a bunch of rich people in that are going to take advantage of people, take advantage of tax loopholes, and further enrich themselves, just like you did. Immigrants, standard immigrants that don't have $5 million for your golden ticket chocolate bar, are actually more likely to start businesses in the United States. They are the ones that bring the jobs, and you're now trying to exclude them. Instead, for wealthy f***ing fat pieces of garbage that sit around doing nothing but enriching themselves further. Take Trump, Elon Musk as an example.
Companies that want to get people to be working for them will be able to buy a card, and for the people that are number one in their class at top schools, I see that as one of the things. But generally speaking, it'll be people with money and people that create jobs, and they won't have to pay any tax on income outside of the United States, which they're not paying right now. They're not citizens, but they'll have to pay if they create jobs in the United States. They'll pay full taxes like everybody else. So you're getting big taxpayers, big job producers, and we'll be able to sell maybe 1 million of these cards, maybe more than that. And if you add up the numbers, they're pretty good. As an example, 1 million cards would be worth $5 trillion. $5 trillion.
Wow.
And if you sell...
Meanwhile, how many people are trying to immigrate here to America? As we know, there's all a bunch of CEOs and tech billionaires and inventors lined up outside the US border, waving around fat stacks of cash, begging to be let in. Yup, that's exactly that. No, actually, it's the people that are the most poor and struggling that want to come here to this country to make their lives better. But guess what happens? When they make their lives better here in this country, they pay more into social services than they take out. They're more likely to start businesses. They're more likely to create jobs. They're more likely to actually benefit Americans. The rich quads that are able to pay $5 million for some Trump gold card, these are not going to be people that are going to better the country. They're going to be people that are interested in furthering enriching themselves.
10 million of the cards, that's a total of $50 trillion. Well, we have 35 trillion in debt. That'd be nice. So we'll see. But it could be.
Okay, so one of two things are happening here. Trump either had this idea when he was having a stroke, or Trump is going to actually just allow cartel members in or Russian oligarchs in because it helps pay off the United States debt. This is literally just Donald Trump's 5 million version of paying for a blue check mark. It's the exact same thing all over again.
Great. Maybe it will be fantastic. We have it all worked out from the legal standpoint. It's totally legal to do. Hasn't been done before. It's been done in many different forms. We give them away. Why should we give them away? We shouldn't give them away. And I think it's something very exciting. I think it's potentially just something that we're all very excited about. So it's a gold card.
Cato Institute, I get a lot of hate for looking at this source, but I don't really care. Trump's gold card plan has benefits but legal and practical obstacles. Selling green cards is good in theory, but Trump's specific proposal has some problems. President Trump cannot lawfully eliminate Congress's EB-5 investor program. Okay? He cannot lawfully sell green cards in excess of Congress's caps. People will be paying for something Trump cannot provide. Trump isn't ultimately the one that decides whether or not you are a legitimate citizen. Even if he could, his proposal will not sell 1 million green cards or generate $5 trillion in revenue. Obviously, because anybody with half a brain cell and a kindergarten graduation degree knows that it's fucking nonsense. So the current system offers immigrant investors the option to invest between $800,000 and $1 million. The process for obtaining an EB-5 green card is extremely bureaucratic. Project must be in rural or high unemployment area. The government must believe that the job will create at least 10 full-time jobs for U.S. workers within 2 years. Instead of improving the EB-5 program, Trump wants to scrap it and replace it with a $5 million payment to the government. Here are some upsides to the idea. This is actually helpful. A straight pay-to-play scheme would remove the bureaucracy and complicated rules that investors currently face. No cap on gold cards. Trump wants to sell off 1 million or more green cards. The current EB-5 cap is less than 10,000 annually. Combined, all family employment and diversity lottery categories have a cap of 421,000. Other uncapped categories, primarily for spouses, minor children, and parents of adult U.S. citizens, account for the remaining numbers. There would also be more direct fiscal upside. The government would directly see deficit reduction from Trump's proposal. Now here are the downsides. The EB-5 visa is intended to boost foreign direct investment in the United States, particularly in low-growth areas. The Trump proposal eliminates any economic upside other than deficit reduction. Very important to remember that. Total loss for investors. The average EB-5 investor is likely to fully recover their investment amount, albeit at a lower rate of return than other alternative investments. Under Trump's gold card, the money is handed off to the US government for deficit reduction. Rather than a relatively small risk of losses under the EB-5 system, investors would face a total loss under the Trump gold card. Moving from a minimum requirement of $800,000 to $5 million would be a dramatic change. So, that's interesting. So it says EB-5 projects are already struggling to obtain investors at the lowest threshold with the possibility of repayment. Last but not least, no legal authority. Green card caps and categories were established by Congress through the Immigration and Nationality Act. Would wealthy individuals invest in a system without solid assurances of its legality? Congress just reformed the EB-5 in 2022. And there is no authority to make these radical changes. While Trump could use his, quote, parole authority to grant temporary lawful residence to people willing to pay $5 million, his administration has taken the position that this type of categorical parole is unlawful. Moreover, Trump insisted that the gold card would include green card privileges and a path to citizenship, which can only come from an actual green card. It is doubtful that wealthy people would pay $5 million for something with dubious legal standing or a temporary status that could be rescinded at any time. Basic stuff, Trump, but our president is apparently such a fucking idiot that he can't even wrap his little pea brain around this. Here is even further proof that Donald Trump is literally just O'Hare from the Lorax. Trump posted this bizarre video today on Instagram called Trump Gaza. I'm sure most of you watching have seen this now, but we're still going to look through this for a minute and just wonder what the fuck is going on.
Donald is coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
And I mean this in the most professional way possible, actually. What the fuck? Now, as we know, Trump, not too long ago, discussed the weird idea of buying the Gaza Strip and turning it into like a resort location with hotels and whatnot. Now, when you ask me, if you ask me what my initial like preliminary thoughts are on this to me seems blatantly like Donald Trump is just using his position as president to fucking enrich himself. For example, if he is president and he uses his political power to wipe out the Gaza Strip and build Trump hotels, once he retires from being president, guess what? He still has all of those business apparatuses operating everywhere, lining his pockets. Think about how just tone deaf and insensitive this is. Gaza, this is a place where there's a genocide taking place, where there are massive amounts of people losing their lives, innocent people losing their lives. And Trump's posting a goofy AI-generated video about how he's gonna make Gaza really nice. I genuinely think it's because Trump has no morals. I think that Trump is selfish. I think that he's maniacal in many ways, and I think that he is using his position as president to enrich himself and to line his own pockets. I think that that is his end goal. I think he knows maybe that he's going to face some legal problems or whatnot once he's done being president, and I think he's trying to get ahead of it. Of course, I could be wrong. I'm not in Donald Trump's head, but at this point, I don't want to be, because even just seeing a little snippet of what's going on in Donald Trump's brain is nothing short of a fucking nightmare.